Hey guys, Huzz here bringing you another video and welcome to my New Year's video. So this video will be uploaded upon the strike of midnight. Obviously that's my normal second video upload time anyway. But yeah, it'll be the first video uploaded here in the UK in 2024. If it's not obvious already, I'm ill. So I'm recording this on the 31st of December. And this may not be the longest of New Year's videos. Because, yeah, I've been pretty sick the last couple days. And I actually was a bit worried if I would have the energy to even record this in the first place. But I'm gonna give it a go. I'm going to try and go for like 20 minutes, half an hour. I know sometimes I go a bit longer. But, yeah. So just to briefly explain what the hell's this. So, yeah, it's not what it was last year. And, yes, I was sick last year too. I've got the flu. I like the actual flu, and I don't think I've ever had the actual flu before. And it's the most unlucky thing in the world that a few days before Christmas, or some of you may know, Queen Pleb's family, her mum specifically, tested positive for COVID. And that made us change of all of our Christmas plans, because we couldn't go and spend time with them, and then us go on to Wales, where my grandparents are. Obviously, the risks are just not worth it. You know, there still are a lot of serious implications that come from all of that. So we basically said to each other, right, before Christmas, we're not going to go anywhere, reduce our risk. So we did not go anywhere for 3-4 days before Christmas. We had Christmas with my family. The next day, we dropped Maya off at Queen Pleb's family, because my family were then going to Wales. And then we joined my family down in Wales, where I must have got this flu. And we've wrapped our brains constantly about where this is, because it is now spreading through certain family members. And I was completely fine, and we didn't go out. So the likelihood of where we got it from was a service station on a motorway. Both me and Queen Pleb went to the toilet, and we went to a Starbucks. And when you're in a Starbucks and you're waiting for your coffee, all in that kind of busy area, there was someone coughing next to us. And it must have been that, because the only other place I went, obviously, yeah, grandparents' houses, but I went to a petrol station once. But I think after I did, fueling up the car, I used anti-bac and everything. So it most likely was that person coughing next to us in a Starbucks. But it's been awful. So it's changed my plans over the last couple of days, because I thought I'd be back to streaming yesterday, which was the 30th. Yeah, no. So we got to Queen Pleb's family house on the Thursday. I instantly went to bed, which obviously kind of sucked. I did manage to get up a few hours later and had a meal with them, which was nice, but I was feeling like death. Then I went to bed early. In that night, I had a fever dream. I never had a fever dream before. That was horrible. And then in the morning was like the Christmas day for Queen Pleb's family. It was kind of like I think I need to go home. And I wasn't well enough to drive. So Queen Pleb drove me. She drove me, and then she went back to her family. And that's where she is right now. So yeah, her and Maya are still at the family house. Unfortunately, Queen Pleb is starting to feel the effects of it. And even Queen Pleb's brother is starting to feel ill as well. I just hope I didn't really infect many people, obviously, because it's been horrible. I'm not going to lie. The day that Queen Pleb brought me back, we got back at 10 a.m. I was in bed the whole day. I slept for 20 hours. I got out of bed twice. One, to force myself to have a shower because I was drenched of sweat. And the other, to go downstairs to make a Lemsip, which is one of those like hot paracetamol drinks. I literally couldn't get out of bed any other time. I was like thinking, right, I want to make another Lemsip. It was 10 p.m. just before I was going to try and properly sleep. Could not get out of bed. I did not have the energy to get up. It was mad. So that was Friday. Yesterday, Saturday, was a bit better. I had to wash my bedding because, again, I was sweating more than I ever have. So all my bedding was drenched. So I had to wash my bedding, and that forced me to be on the sofa, not my bed. And then today, I've been a mixture of in bed and on the sofa. The good news is, I did record a bunch of content ahead of time, so well done me. And I've actually been playing a bit more Spider-Man on PlayStation, so I'm a bit further into that now. But I'm hoping tomorrow, the 1st of January, I'll be able to stream for a few hours. I'm hoping. But yeah, this has been awful. But anyway, that's the update. Sorry it was 5 minutes long, but again, my brain probably isn't going to be working as fully, like, fast as it normally can. But anyway, I did watch the last year one of these. I do them every year, and as I always say, I do them more for me than you. When my time comes that I'm no longer doing content full time, and I've said this for years, and this isn't a new thing I'm saying. This is the video that I will likely go back and watch. You know, I'll go back and go, oh, I wonder what my 2015 was like. I wonder what my 2020 was like. I'll watch these videos because these are the snapshots to what those were like. And obviously last year, it was a really big year. So that video, I think, was called New... What was it? New... It was the three things: a new dog, new house, new car. So just to go over those three very quickly, or I'll talk about one in bigger detail. But yeah, the new car, the Audi, it's fine. We've actually done nearly 11,000 miles in 1 year. And considering me and Queen Pleb both work from home, that's pretty impressive. I honestly don't know how we've done that. We do go on a lot of trips with Maya. We go on a lot of family outings. We go to nature reserves and walks. And I've really, really enjoyed that. And that, by the way, I'll talk about it later, but that has affected my streaming and stuff, which I know it has. I haven't streamed as much in the last year as I probably should have, but it's because I've been valuing family time more. And it's been a bit of a shift in me, because Queen Pleb and Maya are my family, and I want to spend time with them. And obviously, recently we had a lot of bad stuff happen. I'll talk about that as well soon. But when, you know, her normal Monday to Friday job, the time that we can spend with each other is the weekends. And I know that obviously means I'm not streaming as much on the weekends, but the time that I get to spend with her and Maya is irreplaceable, you know? So I will be moving to stream more in 2024. And I'll talk about how I'm going to aim to do that. But yeah, so the new car's fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just what the car that we needed. I bought it last year during me building COVID. Some of you may remember that. The dealership was completely fine. I was like, I'm testing negative. My girlfriend's positive. Is this okay to come into the dealership? And they're like, yep, that's fine. Because they just wanted to sell a car. I didn't check out the car fully. Again, it's all mechanically, everything's perfect. It's just, it doesn't have every option that I was expecting it to, and I found out that a few weeks down the line. So if I'm completely honest, again, I do finance deals like most of the UK does with cars. I do a 4-year finance deal. At 3 years, you can trade in your car without a penalty, and you can use any positive equity in it to then trade for something else. I most likely will trade it at the 3-year mark, if I'm completely honest. I don't see me keeping it absolute long term. There is one possibility that Queen Pleb has actually quite enjoyed driving it. She never really saw herself as driving an SUV, but she has actually enjoyed driving it. So there is a chance that she might take the Q5 and then I might get something different. And I'm thinking about going for an estate for my next car. Different countries call them different things. In the UK, we call them estates. Touring cars. They're the ones that are like a normal low-down car, but with like the elongated boot with like a wagon. There you go. Wagon is probably a term that everyone knows. Think of an SUV, but low. I'm thinking about getting one of them because I don't actually like being that high up. I've kind of learnt. This is my first SUV, so I didn't really know anything different. So yeah, that's one thing to say. Most likely we'll get something at the 3-year mark. It's been a year, so I've got 2 more to go. But the really good thing, and this is life teaches you lessons all the time, the one thing that the Audi has taught me is to be less snobby when it comes to car systems. And what does that mean? The Mercedes system that I had was honestly the best system. And I used the Mercedes sat-nav, I used the Mercedes systems because it was so good. And I always was a bit hesitant to get something that, you know, wasn't good. The Audi's isn't good. So what do I use now? I use Apple CarPlay, and it is perfectly fine. So my next car, I will not be that bothered about what their own system is like at all. As long as it's got Apple CarPlay, we're good to go. And that means I also could get a little bit of an older car. Obviously, the Audi's a 2021. I might get a 2020 or another 2021 car, but obviously in 2 years' time, so when it's 2020, upcoming 2026. So it's taught me that, which is quite good. That's actually quite a good lesson it's taught me, which is good. And, you know, life's about learning lessons and stuff like that. So that's the car. House-wise, still obviously love the house. I still occasionally wake up, and it happens every few weeks, that I still am in a bit of disbelief that this is my house. But I love it, you know. It's nice to have your own space, regardless of how small or how big it may be, just a place to call your own. And it truly is my place now, you know. When I was ill, there was a conversation that when Queen Pleb was driving me back, she was like, am I dropping you off at ours, or am I going to drop you off at your family house? Would you rather be there? And I was like, no, I want to be home. And home to me is here. This is my home now. And that was a bit of an eye-opening thing when I realized what I kind of said. And I was like, whoa. So I do consider this as home. I do consider this my safe space. You know, if I'm a bit anxious or anything, this is the place that I feel grounded. It's nice. We've still got a lot to do. If I'm honest, I know in the last video, I was like, you know, we're going to do so much next year. We're going to paint. We're going to do this. Yeah, we haven't. Not really. I'm not going to paint the behind wall here. I did say I was going to make this like blue or something. There's no point. Like, you could only see a little bit like bits behind all the stuff in the shelves. We still need to do light fittings. That is the goal, I would say, for next year, and hopefully in the first third of the year. And if anything, we just want to get a lot of spotlights fitted. Queen Pleb, as some people know, is quite tall. So when you've got these, we've got dangling bulbs, and they're fine, you know, she's not that tall. But we have these big paper, some people know them, these big paper spheres that go over just a bulb, so they like dilute the light a little bit. Yeah, Queen Pleb does or can hit, even I can nearly hit my head on them, let alone Queen Pleb, who is 4 inches taller than me. I'm 5'8", she's 6 foot. So we do need to do proper light fittings, and that will happen in the upcoming year. Other than that, yeah, the house is going pretty good. Can't complain too much. I also had a really nice surprise. So obviously interest rates, as we all know, are unbelievably crazy at the moment. They are slowly coming down again. Yesterday, when I was feeling a little bit better, I had in my mind that I only signed a 2-year fixed term. I found all my paperwork. I signed a 3-year fixed term, and I literally wanted to kiss myself. A 3-year fixed term on 1.69%. And I was like, oh my God. So that gives us basically another year for the interest rates to calm down. And obviously in the paperwork, it goes like, oh, you know, it's naturally going to go to this interest rate after 3 years, and that you can negotiate. So I will negotiate with my mortgage people and be like, yo, what can we do about that? And if they go, no negotiations, I'm like, well, I'm going to move my mortgage then. Bye-bye. So yeah, so it buys us time, which is great at least. So that's good. And then Miss Maya, the one that I probably want to talk about the most, if any. Oh boy. So in the video a year ago, if I'm completely honest with you all, I was not being honest massively. I was being dishonest to you guys, but in order to trick myself in trying to mean what I was saying. Does that make sense? So I was like, oh, she's amazing. She's so good. She was awful back then. I love her to bits, and she's fantastic, and she's honestly, like, she's my daughter. Like, I love her, and I would not trade her at all. I would protect her with my life. She was awful back then, and it was affecting me really badly. It was affecting me and Queen Pleb's relationship a bit. You know, and what was hilarious when I watched the last video, I was like, oh, we're about to go start puppy training classes. Yeah, so some people may know, and I might even have said in last year's video, Maya does have a domination issue. It's one of our goals to get rid of in 2024. But she has especially an issue with small dogs or puppies. And then she had it back then. It's got better, by the way, so it has got better. But we literally were going in January to a puppy class of all puppies. The thing that Maya doesn't like. That was an awful, I think, 10 weeks. Like, every one day on a weekend we went for a puppy class. Oh, that was awful. That was not fun. I'd say at least half of those lessons, we got back to the car and either Queen Pleb would start crying, I would start crying, or we both would start crying. That was not good. So yeah, we've since then, she's done so well. So it is, again, worth saying, it's just one puppy, 2 Vizsla. People warned us, and we didn't really listen. That's the one thing I will say. So many people warned us when we said we're getting a Vizsla. Everybody goes like, oh God, really? Or prepare yourself. And we was like, how bad it can be? Like, it's not that bad. Oh, it was awful. So if ever you're thinking, like, if any of you see that, like, pictures of Maya or anything, you're like, oh my God, she's gorgeous, I'm going to get a Vizsla. Sure, but no, you're going to have hell for a year. Like, awful. absolutely awful. And I'm sure there's things with training we could have done differently, granted, but it was bad. We obviously worked with several trainers, and that's been an expense this year, and thankfully it's calmed down. We were working with dog trainers more, we were working with dog behaviorists more, because she was problematic. And even those group of professionals are like, oh, she's really difficult. And I was like, yeah, I know. Because it's the combination that she's stubborn, because she's dominant, and she's really smart, because she's a Vizsla. And she's strong, because she's a Vizsla. So it was a really rough combination. So yeah, that was challenging, but all I will say is I'm so happy we got through the other end. She is a joy to be a part of, you know. She makes me happy, she makes Queen Pleb happy. It's our little family. And nothing can beat. And obviously, you know, I love Queen Pleb to bits. And it's just a different type of love. You know, there's human love, there's your partner's love. But when it comes to an animal that loves you no matter what, and there's nothing attached, you know, it's just love. Nothing will beat me finishing potentially a tough league stream, a rank session that hasn't gone well. I walk downstairs and there she is. She's looking at me and she's like, playtime? And I'm like, yeah. That's the thing I do after stream. I go and play. We play Godzilla is what we call it. In our living room, we have a coffee table, obviously quite normal. And we run around like the coffee table. She has usually a little scrap of a toy in her mouth, and it's, can I get the scrap of a toy? And we run around like loons, and she loves that. I love that, and it's so much fun. And I love that dog so much. And obviously, recently she had her spay, and it overall went really good. She did have some complications in recovery, that she was really poorly with the pain medication. So we had to take her off the pain medication, and that made her really achy and whiny, understandably. But I'll share a memory with you guys that, you know, I want to share this because, as I said, these videos are more for me, and I don't think I'll ever forget this memory. But future me, who's watching this video, I don't know, in 10, 20 years' time, hello, the story of Maya when we collected her from her spay. So we dropped her off. Both me and Queen Pleb were an absolute mess. We came back home. We moved her crate downstairs because they said no stairs, obviously, for I think 10 days or so. So we had to have a crate downstairs. So we came home, we did that. We then left the house. We just didn't want to be home without Maya. And we did we went and did different things. We went to garden centers, did a bit of Christmas shopping because this was just at the end of November. And then we got the call, she's ready, come pick her up. And then these consultation rooms, obviously, where you talk to a vet, but they obviously bring your dog from the back into the consultation room and then you leave. I'll never forget it. And again, I'm just saying it to share it as well. They said, please don't, obviously, you know, if you're wanting to greet her, if she wants to greet you, she's going to go up. Obviously, you can't let her go up because that would strain the wound. So go down. So we both went on her knees, and I will never, ever forget it. They opened the door, and she looked at us, and she had her head down, and she, like, really slowly, which is weird for Maya, kind of wobbled her way over, and her head just went straight into my chest. And she just stayed there for about a minute, and then she looked at Queen Pleb, and she did the exact same thing to Queen Pleb. And then she made some really funny noises of just probably relief. Oh, and, you know, the vet, who was lovely, lovely, lovely woman, was like, that's really nice to see. Your dog clearly loves you so much. She's very spoiled. Everyone around us, everyone that obviously is in our personal circle. Yeah, Maya's a very spoiled dog, and we know she is. And, you know, I can't remember that acronym. Queen Pleb says it occasionally. It's like 2 parents, 2 incomes, 1 dog, or something of that nature. Some of you may know it. And that's what Maya is right now. You know, she's got 2 parents with 2 incomes, and she's the spoilt kid. Obviously, that will change when the time comes for me and Queen Pleb to have a family. But right now, she's my little princess, and she's going to get spoilt a bit. So, yeah. But yeah, no, we went on holiday with Maya. Queen Pleb's family likes to do kind of staycations within Britain, that they rent like a cottage or something. It's just more accessible that everybody in the family can go, the dogs can go. So yeah, we went on holiday with Maya. She did great. It was the first time she ever went to a beach. She barked at the sea because she didn't understand it was coming back at her. She went quite far in the water. She still hasn't swam properly. That is another thing we want to do in 2024, is take her swimming. In like, I know it's probably good to some people, are like, what the hell? Dog swimming pools are popping up here in the UK, that you first take your dog to a swimming pool that are for dogs with a instructor, and they just make sure your dog gets the gist of it, because quite a lot of dogs, they swim like that and their body goes straight up like a pencil. That's really bad. They need to bring their butt up so their back is kind of level to the water, and that's basically what they just try to like show the dog, that's how you swim. And then we just need to do that with Maya, so we have the knowledge, okay, if she ever did jump in a lake after a bird, at least she can swim. Because yeah, she still is very bird centric. She's a Vizsla. She has run after birds quite a lot. But her recall is near perfect. We've been complimented on, one, her recall, two, just her training in general. We have worked really hard with her, and obviously from where she started to where she is now, we've done pretty good, and I don't mind saying that. Christmas Day, I was nervous about being at the family house. She was sublime. Like, amazing. She was opening her own gifts. They were wrapped, and she put one paw and she was opening her own gifts. She wasn't going nuts for food. She didn't go like hands on a counter to try and get some food early. She was great. She was absolutely fantastic. And I cannot wait to have more memories and more adventures with her in the years to come, in 2024. One thing that we are thinking about, and now if we move on to, bit of 2024, and then we'll talk about the content and YouTube and stuff and Twitch. 2024 is going to be quite a big year. Exciting year. And I don't really mind saying it. I have said it on stream. It's probably made it into a video, but I don't think Queen Pleb will watch this video. But yeah, she knows anyway. But yeah, I'm going to be doing something in 2024 that involves Queen Pleb and a certain piece of jewelry. There you go. You'll get the gist. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that. I already have it, so I've got it ready to go. I just got to think of the right time. And it's basically because every now and then me and Queen Pleb will be having a conversation, and she'll bring up dating. Like, oh, we're dating. And I'm like, it's way more than that. We've got a house together. We've got a dog together. Like, it just feels a bit more like that. So she knows, by the way, like, it's not a complete surprise to her. Because I didn't want that. I could not just do surprise with my anxiety. Hell no. So she does know. I know she'll say yes, which is good. But it's just for me to make the decision when I'm going to do it. And I've got an idea of a couple different times, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, because we have had some really awful news in the last few months, and I guess we'll quickly go on to that. But yeah, so Queen Pleb lost her job a few months ago, but really quick going through that, she got made redundant. She got a new job. Absolutely fantastic. I'm so proud. It took her about a month or so to get a new job in a period of time that isn't great for finding a new job. She starts in the new year. It's technically a promotion from her last job, which is fantastic. And it's a 7-month contract, but it's got a potential to turn into more. But if she can find a job in a month when she's got a 7-month contract, after month 4 or 5, if she's getting the vibe, oh no, this is only for 7 months, then she'll start looking for another full-time position. But at least she's got the promotion in the title and everything, so that will make it easier to find the full-time one. So words cannot comprehend how proud I am of her. In many ways, like, honestly, again, she was so strong with Maya, so strong with situations that we've had in the background. So she's fantastic. And I'm sure some of you are watching this right now and you've got your significant other and you found the one. I'm sure some of you watching haven't yet. You will, don't force it. It will come. But yeah, I have found my person, which sometimes I still can't believe, but she's amazing, and she's my amazing, and that's the thing, is no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. She's not perfect, at least, well, for me, she is. But that's the whole point, is you're perfect for each other, but that doesn't mean they're perfect for everybody or you're perfect for everybody. You just complete each other. And we are quite the typical, you know, they always say opposites attract. We are opposites in quite a lot of ways. We're very similar in other ways. We love a lot of the same stuff. Pop culture, nerd culture, and stuff like that. We love all of that stuff. We like gaming. We like sport, both of us. She's really into F1 now. She's got me back into American football, which I love. But she's more insular, and I'm more outgoing, you know. But it works. It works really well. That is the reason why it says opposites attract, because they kind of do. So that's really good, and that will be exciting. We're going to Disneyland Paris in a few months, which I'm really excited for. I've not been to anything Disney in over 10 years. Obviously, some people know my childhood. I was quite, for a period of time, very spoilt going there a lot. But yeah, I've not been for over 10, maybe even now. I think 2007 was the last time I went. That rings a bell. So it's been a very long time since I've been to anything Disney. I've never been to the Paris one, so that's where we're going. And then with Maya looped in, because she's not coming to Disneyland, we're thinking about doing a kind of, we call them staycations within the UK, to the Lake District with Maya later in the year. So Lake Windermere is kind of what I've got in mind. A very dog-friendly area, I know. So maybe that will be a cool thing that we'll be doing. But yeah, very exciting. And now let's get on to, and again, I've managed to go 26 minutes. I think I can pull off another 10 or so. Content, my job, YouTube, Twitch. So 2023, when it comes to content and stuff like that, it was both good and bad. The weird thing is I've actually been fairly happy with the content I've made this year. Happier, I would say, than the past year. I think I've been overall better mental and stuff like that this year, or 2023, than 2022. But that hasn't reflected very well in view numbers and stuff like that, unfortunately. And it has to be said, on Twitch, it has been harder this year to maintain the happy number more than pretty much any year that we've had it. So it is getting harder to do this as an absolute full-time job. You know, I'm going to be completely honest with everybody. It is. And with the world that me and Queen Pleb are in, we are potentially in, you know, wanting to start a family. I'd say in about 3 years. You know, it is sometimes, the thought does cross the mind, should I just go get a career job? Because, you know, if I get a career job, then maybe in 2-3 years I can get a promotion and I can still, you know, I can earn a decent amount by the time family comes about. But I really just don't want to give up doing this full time. You know, I've done it. I kind of said to you guys, I'd love to be able to do this absolute full time for 10 years. I've done this now for over 10 years, but when I started it as a job was 2016. I don't know if I'm going to be making it to 2026 full time. But what I'm going to do is, in my mind, you know, and again, I make an okay amount. It does go down, and it has gone down, you know, the last few years. It is what it is, but yeah, so it is going down. And if anything, if the YouTube channel could just recover a bit, it sounds stupid what I'm about to say, but free income. What I mean by that is, obviously on Twitch, people have to pay money to make me money. Like, they have to sub, they have to give bits, whatever. I understand that goes down because cost of living's gone up. That's completely reasonable. But if we could recover the YouTube channel and all people are doing is watching the content, and that's how I make revenue, that just seems a better way to go. So I am going to really try in 2024 to just think of different things to try and grow the channel again. And last year, or 2023, I would say, even though I was happy with a lot of stuff, I would say I was kind of in like a maintenance mode. And I don't mind admitting that. So 2024, I've said to Queen Pleb, is basically going to be my last year to really give content a proper go. And if it doesn't go great, then either at the end of 2024 or beginning of 2025, I will likely go seek out a career job. And obviously that might take me 6 months to get a career job, but you never know. But that's what I've said, is I'm going to really try to give 2024 a good go. So what does that mean? So one, I'm going to maybe look to change my thumbnails. I do like my thumbnails, but I've had the same style for a very long time. And obviously that just, it doesn't bring any excitement when it's just the same thumbnail design for the last 4 or 5 years. So maybe just a slightly, and not major, because obviously there's only so much you can do with a League of Legends thumbnail, But yeah, slightly different thumbnails. If that would help, that would be great. Again, when it comes to clickbait content, I can't do clickbait content. I don't really know how. Trust me, I've sat in this desk and thought, how the hell do I clickbait this video? And I just can't even come up with a title, like, let alone do it. So I don't really think I can do that route. But all I'm going to try and do is just make the best content I can make. And hopefully the way of YouTube is, if people like the content, in theory, they'll throw a like on the video, they'll comment on the video, and in the kind of cycle of everything, the algorithm will go, hey, people are liking that, they're watching that, let's share it more. And that's how growth happens. So that's all I think I can do. Maybe change the thumbnails a bit and make the best content I can make. And I think that's all I can realistically do. When it comes to YouTube, maybe more shorts, because the shorts obviously can do okay. So that's that thing. As for Twitch, what I want to try and do is stream more. Obviously, I've always said, if we maintain the happy number every single month, I'm fine. And that's true. If we maintain 1,250 subs, and obviously I've had it occasionally, people going, that's a lot of subscribers, like, and they've worked out the basic math of the income. You have to remember two things, or more than probably two, but whatever you've worked out is not the true income. So I am on the better split. So on Twitch is 70-30, which is true, but not every sub. Like, I've had people go, oh, if you do 1,250 times 5, that's how much, and then you take 70% of that. Yeah, it's not times 5 anymore. Every sub is not $5. A year or two ago, Twitch changed everything. Some of you may remember, and I think it was a good change, don't get me wrong, but it meant streamers on average made less money. That they basically localized how much Twitch subscriptions were. So they were $5 across the board before it, and every sub was $5 for a tier 1 sub. But what they then did was going, hey, people in, let's say, Brazil, $5 in Brazil is more meaningful than $5 in America. So let's change a Brazil sub to be equivalent of, let's say, $2 US dollars instead. Or, okay, people in the UK, I think we spend £4 per Twitch sub. And they've changed it. Nothing is above $5. So $5 is the highest tier 1 sub, which is the American one. But on average, a lot of them went down. So that's where the math doesn't quite align, just doing 1,250 times 5. It doesn't work like that. But if we can maintain 1,250, that's why it's called the happy number, is I can just stream really nicely without having that big pile on my back. So if you can help out, I'd appreciate it. If you're here on YouTube and you like what I do and you'd like me to continue doing this for another few years, please do consider helping, because this is kind of the year that I do probably, let's say, need the help. And even if it's not financially, and I don't expect that, liking the videos, commenting and stuff like that, that really goes a long way, and I would really appreciate that too. But I have to make good content to deserve it. So don't do it if you think the content's not good. I have to make good content. So that's my try to promise, is I'll try to make the best content I can make. But then when it comes to Twitch as well, so yeah, I'm going to try and stream more. So 2 ways I'm going to do about this. So, or 3 kind of. So I'm going to be doing my normal Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But what I'm going to do at least 1 day a week is, I've always struggled sometimes going, okay guys, I'm going to end, say it's a Tuesday, right, I'm going to end the stream, I'm going to go away, and then I'm going to come back after whatever, and then sometimes I just don't come back, because by the time I finish streaming, I go down, I play with Maya, I hang out with Queen Pleb. Do you really want to go back live? Sometimes not really. So what I'm going to do, and what I think I've got to have in my mind, the YouTube channel and the Twitch channel are quite separate. They are quite separate communities, and I think it's okay if I treat it a bit like that. I've never liked being live on Twitch when a YouTube video goes live, but then recently I was like, why? The people on Twitch are watching that content while I'm streaming it, so they're not necessarily going to watch it on YouTube as well. So I think I'm just going to kind of drop the whole, I don't really care if I'm live when a video goes out. So instead, 1 day a week, I'm going to try and just do a long stream. So start at 11, my normal start time, but instead of finishing at 4, 5, maybe finish at 7, 8. So doing a considerably longer stream 1 day a week. And then as for weekends, I will be making a much bigger effort to at least stream one day on a weekend. When, here's the caveat, when me and Queen Pleb haven't got like a family outing that we're doing. Which again, as I've said to you guys, apologize for that, but my priority as a near 30-year-old now is family. Like, I love spending time with family. Spending time with Queen Pleb and Maya is some of the best moments of my life. You know, Queen Pleb's sisters recently had a baby, so like that is, you know, I can call her my niece. Legally, she'll be my niece, let's say, in a few years. But you know, we want to spend more time with just family in general, which I really, really, really enjoy. And obviously, when it comes to streaming on those weekends, it's harder to do that because we're normally traveling to see family. But I will try to make an effort to definitely stream more, or when it will happen, or like, let's say, oh, we've got a weekend thing. So instead of just doing one extra long stream a week, I'll try and do two. You know, that's the thing. Maybe on a Friday, I'll do an extended stream as well. So these are the things I want to try and do. So just more streaming on average. And to be honest, I'm nervous about it slightly, and people sometimes won't get it. You guys don't see the behind the scenes. You just have to take my word. I do work a fair amount. Some people probably don't really realize, but yeah, 2 videos a day, every day. Streaming on average 5 days a week, sometimes 4, obviously. With all the background stuff, sponsorships, trying to sort everything out. I am doing a lot as a solo one man band. Obviously, I do all the thumbnails myself. I do all of it. I do the editing, which obviously, yes, is minimal because it has to be minimal because I'm doing 2 videos a day. So it's a lot. So adding more workload in terms of more streams, I'm a bit nervous about, but I'm going to see what I can do. And then another thing that I've thought about that I might be trying to do in this year is potentially bring back Huzzy Extra a bit. So part of streaming more, yes, streaming more League, but I don't think I'll be streaming just League all the time, you know, because I think that will just make you go mad. So as part of the extra streams will be, let's say I do my 6 hours of League of Legends and it's an extended stream of a 9-hour stream. Well, I'll do 6 hours of League of Legends and then I'll play 3 hours of something else. That 3 hours of something else, I might upload to Huzzy Extra, which is my second YouTube channel that I've not used for years properly. So that's something that I might consider as well. But overall, I've got some good aspirations for 2024. This, you know, I still, and just to make it very clear for everybody, I'm not sad that it's harder to becoming a full-time YouTuber. It should be harder to be a full-time content creator. It's so competitive nowadays. You know, when I started and when it was going so well, hardly no one was doing it, you know? Let's be honest. Like, I was at the beginning of League of Legends content creators, and I've got to do this 10 years as a whole and 7 odd years full-time career. I'm blown away. Like, the memories that I've got at this point in my life is so positive from doing this. So if 2024 is my last year full-time doing it, I don't see it as an absolute sad thing. I know for you guys, you might be like, oh, that sucks. You know, will you just disappear? And that's the thing. I don't think I'll just disappear. You know, and the thing that I want to make clear, not everything's about money, obviously, but whenever I get a full-time career job, it most likely will be on a little bit less income than I make now. But obviously my income trend has been going down the last few years. So obviously to try and make my income, let's say, about the same, get my full-time career, do a little bit of content, YouTube videos, etc., and that might bring it to about where I'm at the moment. And that hopefully wouldn't make me feel too bad about my income level. Because put it this way, some people may be a bit surprised, but yeah, Queen Pleb's new job, which is a 7-month contract, yeah, she's probably going to be making more than me now. Which I'm proud of. You know, that's insane. So yeah, she's loving my life. She's a very spreadsheety person. We've got a budget and everything. And obviously we've had a ratio of how much bills and everything. Yeah, that ratio obviously is pretty much going to get to 50-50 in terms of sharing the cost of bills and everything. And if not before long, it might actually go in more her way. But that's the thing with life, and that's the thing that she said to me. There'll be parts in our life that I'm the bigger ratio, which we have been a few years ago, and then there'll be parts in our life that she'll be the bigger ratio, and it's going to swap here and there until it calms down, and that's fine. You know, we're a partnership, we're a team. So overall, 2023 weren't too bad, but 2024 I am looking forward to. I know 2023 I'll end. I'm surprised. I've managed to go for longer than I thought I could, but I'm not in a coughing fit, which is good. I have a big bottle of water just in case I get into a coughing fit. Last year I did say about getting into health things. Yeah, that didn't massively happen. Ish. I know in the last video I said I was on 4 medications a day. I'm now on 2. So that's good. I've halved my medication intake, which again might be weird for people to say. Is that good? I don't like taking medications. Like, I just don't like relying on something for my health, if that makes sense. It's like I'm wearing glasses a lot again, but the reason I got laser eye surgery is because I hated being reliant on glasses. It's that kind of philosophy. So yeah, my eyes are slightly getting worse again. They're not bad. They're like -1s in each eye, but when I'm tired and stuff, I'm going to wear glasses, especially for driving. Obviously, I've not been driving for the last few days. But one of my goals as well for 2024 is definitely lose a bit of weight. And one thing me and Queen Pleb, and we're a partnership, she doesn't have to really lose much weight at all. She wants to lose a little bit, like we all probably do. I want to lose a bit more than a little bit. We are quite both akin to, oh, we had a bad day, let's order a takeaway. So we are both deleting all the food delivery apps on our phones for at least January. We may even continue for longer if we just get in the vibe of not relying or not having them at all. We're going to do a weekly big shop online. So when you go to a supermarket, it's so tempting just to throw things in your cart that you didn't really want or need. Doing an online shop kind of stops that from happening. So we're going to go on a bit of a health kick. If you guys want to join me, feel free. Because I also want to do in 2024 my first powerlifting meet officially, and I want to vlog it. I want to bring you guys with me. Obviously, one of the things I haven't even mentioned, but yeah, last year I got injured quite early on in the year. In April, it looks like I tore my left Achilles. It still gives me pain to this day. I am in treatment for it, like physiotherapy, acupuncture, but it's not great. I still go on walks with Maya, but I can't do as many. And, after a decently long walk, my Achilles is hurting quite a lot. It sucks. There's no other word for it. It does kind of suck. I didn't do powerlifting for about three months. But my last gym session of this year, we did some powerlifting, which was quite fun. And the good thing is the powerlifting actually didn't hurt my ankle. Walking and hiking more hurts the ankle. So powerlifting might be weirdly okay. But yeah, I want to try and bring you along for a powerlifting meet. I want to lose a bit of weight. So those are the goals. So when future me watches this in a year, hopefully I'm a bit lighter. And again, I'm not massive. I'm doing okay, but I could just lose. I'd say in the UK, 14 pounds we call a stone here in the UK. 1 stone is 14 pounds. Don't ask me why I didn't make up the rules. I could probably lose a stone and a half. So what? About 20. Yeah, about 20-ish pounds I think I could lose. And yeah, let's see if I can do that. Obviously, a few years before the pandemic, I lost 60 pounds and I probably got a bit too light. My lightest I think I got to was 165 pounds. That was a little bit too light for me. I think I could quite easily be very healthy sitting at about 175. That's kind of where I want to try and get to. So we'll see if I can do that. Hopefully we can. But anyway, that's going to be it. I went longer than I thought I could. I hope I didn't really miss anything major. I might have. Again, I'm still not really doing massively well in the head. Next year, let's little goal, not be sick over Christmas or New Year. That would be great. And if you're wondering, by the way, what my actual New Year's going to be, I'm going to right now click stop recording. I'm going to open Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm going to edit this, maybe throw a couple pictures of Maya up when I was speaking about her. And then I'm going to upload it. I'm going to make the thumbnail. And then I'm going to go to bed. Like, that's genuinely what I'm about to go do. So, yay, 2024. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the new year. I'll see you next year. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Goodbye.